Hey, before we talk to our friend Kyle Rudolph, let's talk about the beer sponsor of this show. You guys already know it's a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Hey, big game tonight, Chief.
Huge game.
What beer are you going to be drinking while you watch Notre Dame?
Miller's and Miller's only, Miller Lite. I feel like this is going to be my comfort zone. I'm going to need it. I am nervous for this game. Miller Lite is going to be like my little like Lucky Rabbit's foot. A little security blanket. Yeah, so I'm just going to be having those all game long. That golden color, matching that golden helmet, it's going to be perfect.
It's a big night.
Huge night.
Big night for the state of Indiana. I think Larry Bird liked Miller Lite. I want to say Larry Bird.
Of course he did.
Miller.
Look at Larry Bird and tell me he doesn't like Miller Lite.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. You know, IU, Notre Dame, a lot going on. College football playoff, full slate tomorrow. So make sure you have your Miller Lite ready to go. You can make memories at the year-end gatherings. It tastes like Miller time. Go to MillerLite.com/midshow to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It tastes like Miller time. Just make sure you celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. All right, today's interview show, we are joined by former Fighting Irish tight end and Vikings tight end, Kyle Rudolph. Kyle, welcome to the show. Your boots on the ground in South Bend. What's the vibes like?
Literally just got here to South Bend. I told you guys I'm in the car en route to my college roommate's house. So we're on our way over. He already told me the IU fans are ridiculously annoying to this point.
That checks out.
Yeah, checks out. It's funny because, you know, my mother-in-law went to IU, and like all year it's been kind of like, oh yeah, it's cute. Like, you guys are good at football. Like, we're so happy for you. I have 4 kids. You know, they cheer, you know, go IU. And now we play them, so it's like not cute anymore. And like if we lose, that would be really bad. So we've cut it out. It's been go Irish all week. Okay. We're not messing around with that anymore. They had their good year. Now it's time for it to end.
So it's like, hey, elf on the shelf, let me know if those kids are saying go IU or not, go Hoosiers.
No, they're smart. They know it's go Irish. You know, they knew why we were rooting for IU, and so it's all good. We're go Irish all day.
All right, love to hear that. Are you feeling confident heading into this game?
I am. You know, I think for us, when you look at the one blip on the radar that we had earlier in the year, obviously an awful loss to Northern Illinois at home, but you look at kind of the way that the team has transformed over the ensuing 10 weeks. Also, it's going to be in like the high 20s and rainy and wet, and I just think you know, we're built for that. You know, if we could run the ball 65 times tomorrow night, that's what we want to do. That's the style we want to play. I'm feeling pretty confident going into tomorrow.
How big of a factor is that? Because I've heard different things over the years. Like I remember seeing a Tom Brady mic'd up where he's like, it was shit weather, just piss and snow, and he goes to Belichick, great day to throw. So as a receiver, like having to run routes, that is my biggest fear, that IU gets ahead and then we can't catch them. That's like my only fear. Do you think the weather will help the Irish that much?
I mean, it's not. Originally, it's like when this format came out and you knew we were going to get a home game, you hope that like Tennessee or Alabama or somebody was going to have to come to South Bend on December 20th. IU's in the state. Like, they're a bunch of Midwestern guys that are used to cold weather and used to playing in these environments. But I think when you look at, you know, the way our roster is built, I think we've got one of the best backs in college football. It's been extremely exciting to watch all year. An offensive lineman that historically year over year is one of the best in college football. Incredibly athletic quarterback. You know, obviously Riley can run around with the best of them. You know, that's what we want to do. That's the style of football we want to play. And, you know, I don't want to say it, but ultimately, like, I don't know that IU's played a defense like they're going to play tomorrow. So I don't see them getting out to a massive lead early where we'd have to throw the football all over the yard to come back. You know, that defense has been fun to watch. I played against Al Golden defenses when I was in the NFL. He was in Detroit when I was in Minnesota. And they're tough to play against. In college, when you have a bunch of upperclassmen and a bunch of experience, it's rare nowadays because, these kids are transferring all over the place. Mm-hmm. And he's had a core group of guys that have played together, and they can do some complex type coverages and pressures because they know it. It's like, we don't got to go back over day one install first day in the spring because we have 8 new guys from all over the country. Notre Dame can't do that. We can't take guys in the transfer portal unless they're grad transfers and they can only come for 1 year. So, I'm pretty confident the defense is going to play well tomorrow night and give us a chance to play our style all day on offense.
And this is our style. This is the T-shirt. I don't know if you can see it from there. 4 quarters of fuck you football.
I can't even see it. Let's see it. Okay.
4 quarters of fuck you football, and that's what I want. I want it like how Notre Dame used to be, where you could run 2 tight ends, and we're just going to have Josh Adams be a hammerhead and smash you in the mouth for 60 minutes. And I hope that's the vibe. I want it to be a Braxton Cave game. You said that's your college roommate, just like a big ugly dude up front. Well, he's actually not ugly. He's looking pretty handsome with that.
What are you talking about?
But he was like a mauler
in college.
Yeah,
he was ugly.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
we didn't have NIL, so we couldn't have these clean haircuts and lined up beards like they do now.
Yeah.
That guy's hot.
He was like a hot dude. Yeah. Put him back on camera.
I got a question.
That's a hot dude.
I got a question for
Look
the
at
two
that clean,
Notre Dame
clean
guys.
line, the fade.
Yeah.
Is there anything about the cockiness that you two have, like, oh, it's little brother Indiana, that's like, oh, maybe this is their Super Bowl and they are a really good fucking team? Yeah, they got smoked by Ohio State. However, this is like, I mean, Cignetti's not going to be there more than another year or two, probably. He's probably going to be coaching for Notre Dame, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like...
I don't know if you follow current events in college football. We just extended our coach.
Yeah, right. I know that matters. That's the end-all be-all.
After week 2, there was, hey, that guy down the road doesn't seem all that bad.
Right?
But no, I think, look, let's just be honest. It is what it is. When you go out and you play your level of football at Notre Dame, you just described every week on the season. It is what it is, and that feeds to the arrogance and cockiness that you were talking about. But week in and week out, playing at Notre Dame on national television, on NBC, that's every team's Super Bowl. It's the biggest game of their year for most of these teams. And when I look at the way they played when they had a big game at Ohio State, late in the year, they're undefeated. It didn't get any bigger than that. Like that was their Super Bowl. Okay, so now they have a redemption at another Super Bowl. We'll see. I'm pretty confident in our guys to go out and play in a huge game, electric environment. Again, first college football playoff game at Notre Dame Stadium. Vibes are high. I'm fired up. The only thing, I thought maybe there'd be a chance that the college football show would be in South Bend, but you guys went to Columbus. So
Ohio.
That's the only thing that could have made vibes higher.
Ohio's Dave wouldn't have missed this game for the world. So the one in Columbus.
Yeah, you knew Dave had to go to Ohio.
It's unfortunate.
I'm kind of with White Sox Dave though. There's something here where everyone's shitting on IU fans because I get it, they are annoying, but they have not been there before. They probably won't. Who knows if they're going to be there again? You kind of got to take your shot and be annoying now. And
No.
I said I wouldn't say this publicly. We have a social media guy, White Boy Rick. He said that to me yesterday. I'm like, I swear I won't say it publicly. White Boy Rick is scared that this is their only shot at ever being good. That's from an IU fan.
Hey, let's take a break to talk about Pop-Tarts. Listen, so the mascots were in the office a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So there's going to be 3 edible mascots again.
Awesome.
End. Yes. And nobody knows which one's going to get eaten at the end.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's hard to start a new cool tradition. This is it. Like, when's the last time someone did something new and sweet for college football? This is it. The
trophy is a toaster.
Yeah.
There's so many cool things that Pop-Tarts did to make this bowl game an actual thing. Like,
I won't miss it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And can I say something?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be in Florida at that time. I think I'm going to go.
You should.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Why are you being coy?
I'm just because I'm not going to be exactly in Orlando.
Mm-hmm. You're going to make the trip?
I think I'm just gonna.
Are you telling us you're gonna be one of the toasters or the Pop-Tarts?
Are they eating you?
Are they eating you, Ed?
Listen, if that's what they
They
want to do, they can do that. Yes, if I'm the lucky flavor, sure, they could do that. But I will make it my goal
Okay.
to try to get like one of the players to toss me a little piece of the edible Pop-Tart.
That'd be awesome.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
I want it. So you can catch all the crazy good moments and get a sneak peek of each mascot by following at Pop-Tarts US and at Pop-Tarts Bowl on social and visiting poptarts.com/bowl. This year, Pop-Tarts is bringing more flavor, more fun, and a whole lot of excitement. Don't miss it. That game is on December 28th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. 2 teams, 3 edible mascots, and a packed Camping World Stadium in Orlando. Iowa State versus Miami. Don't miss it. It's going to be awesome.
But this, I'm not even like keeping this directly to this specific football team and football season. Back in 2020, when they had Penix, they were the most annoying fan base on earth. When their basketball team's sniffing, they're like, ranked 15th but undefeated because they had a shit non-conference. Worst fan base on earth. So, like, I hate Notre Dame. Indiana fans are sneaky, god-awful. So I don't even know who I want to root for in this week. Because I love to see the Indiana fans squirm, but I like to see the cocky assholes from Notre Dame squirm too. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's been tough for them though. Like you think about how great things were from back in the day with Bob Knight, and whether it's basketball, they never really had football, and now they have football. So more power to them. I'm with you. It's like the guys. I had a teammate guy on defense one time and scored. We were in college. He picked off a pass against Navy and scored in Baltimore. And he like jumped and did like the Marshawn Lynch before Marshawn Lynch. This was way back in the day, like 2008. And he got a 15-yard penalty, of course, came to the sideline. Coach Weiss is like, man, what the hell are you doing? He's like, hey, Coach, I celebrated like I ain't ever going back. Like, hey, like, I might not ever score again. So, I did my thing when I scored. That's IU right now. Like they may never be in the college football playoff again, but you're here now. You had a great 11-1 season. More power to you. Like live it up, go for it. It's just got to end tomorrow. Like I said, it was cute. We were there all year. Go IU. I told you, my kids, the principal at their school went to IU, like in the carpool line. Hey, great win this week. Like, oh, big one next week at Ohio State. We supported them all year, but that shit stops now. Yeah. It's over tomorrow.
I need that to end. I need you guys are sisters of the poor. Like go back to being that and let the big dogs eat.
Let the adults.
Yeah. Like you guys don't belong in the Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I kind of like IU now. Like I feel like
oh fuck off.
I kind of like IU now. I don't know.
If they just had a normal fan, if they were Purdue, I would be like fucking.
If they were Michigan State,
Michigan State, but it's like the most.
I don't know what it is about them.
They're so annoying.
Yeah.
Because
Michigan State sucks too. So does Purdue. I mean, all of them. Come on.
Maybe Iowa.
What about Northwestern? How's the Northwestern fan base?
Northwestern they don't really have a fan base, and they get pissed because all Chicago people are Notre Dame fans. So
that's right. Yeah,
and I like Northwestern's coach. I called one of their games last year. He was the interim coach when they let Fitz go. That dude's a baller. I like them a lot. I could vibe for Northwestern. Out of all those like middle tier Big Ten teams that you guys just named, like I could get on the Northwestern bandwagon.
The most.
Yeah.
But they have a temporary stadium with like 25,000 people.
It was cool.
It's actually sweet.
It's pretty cool. Dave and I saw them play Indiana there this year.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
As an alumni, like going back, when do you start to get like the vibes back and you start to get the chills? Like, is it when you hear the fight song, when you see Touchdown Jesus? Like, what is it? Like, what will you see once you get on campus that'll get you going?
It's funny. So they play like this little song right before the team runs out. And, we always had a joke as recruits, as players, as former players, it's Here Come the Irish. And it's like this, we called it by like the white lady.
Yeah.
Like it's just this white lady that sings Here Comes the Irish. And they used to play a video in the football building, like on your visits and stuff. And it's like this sick Notre Dame highlight video, all the tradition of Notre Dame. And it's the white lady singing Here Come the Irish. And it's like that we had the number 1 class in 2008 in the entire country. And we joke around like that got every one of our guys that were high school All-Americans to commit to Notre Dame. It's like the white lady, Here Come the Irish. So they play that song like right before the guys run out. It's like that. And then it goes right into like drop kick Murphys and When the white lady comes on and sings "Here Come the Irish," that's when vibes are highest.
It does give you a chill. It gives you a chill. So I am worried about an IU invasion of Notre Dame Stadium. We've seen that a few times, like when Georgia came up, or
Nebraska, though. That's
Nebraska, Georgia, Texas. Like, there's been a bunch that have done it.
That's not IU, though. Those are like blue bloods.
That can't happen for a playoff game.
I hope not. But my question is, you said, you're a Florida guy now. You have a suite. I feel like those windows open. Are you going to be compelled?
I'm sitting inside.
Okay. It's like, hey, if we need a little extra noise, can we open the windows to the suite? Or you're just like, nah, I'm just going to be comfortable.
Hell no. Yeah, I'd rather buy more beers for the students so they get a little louder.
All right, fair enough.
Do they sell beer there?
I think they sell beer there. They definitely do it in the suites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the student section. Might just
I don't know if they do they sell beer down in the stadium? No, so they don't in the stadium. But we'll get them. Tailgate the backer. We'll make sure everybody feels good. The game doesn't kick off till 8:00, so we'll be rocking.
Plenty of time to get a buzz on. Plenty of thick jackets to sneak handles in with too.
Yeah. Speaking of your old stomping grounds,
that too. Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of old stomping grounds and being indoors, we were at your other home. We were into US Bank. We went to the Monday Night Football game, Bears Vikings.
It sucked.
That place is awesome, but what an awful experience for us.
Rocking. Yeah. That place was rocking.
Yeah.
It sucked for you guys. I feel bad. I as a division rival, I still have love for the Bears. Kevin Warren being there, president and CEO. Kevin was a mentor of mine in Minnesota, and there's a lot of people that have kind of made their way over from Minnesota to Chicago. And so, there's a soft spot in my heart for the Bears, and I want them to do well. The McCaskey family, one of the original families of football, and it's so depressing watching you guys right now. And I was laughing on Monday, the first 4th and 1, and you toss it. It's just like, oh my God, what are we doing here? You guys are just trying to screw this stuff up. So I feel bad for you guys. I hope they figure it out and turn around. It's good for football when the Bears are good.
So people say. I don't even remember the last time that was true.
No.
Yeah. The stadium was sick though. They shot out snow that
flurries. Was Ryan's favorite part of the day.
I love
talking about the fake.
I love the indoor snow flurries. That was sick.
That was cool.
Yeah. So they do everything right.
It's a pretty sick environment. They do it right. It's my favorite one in the NFL. I think they did an unbelievable job with the stadium. Obviously, I'm biased because it was our home stadium, but having played a couple other places and played in a lot of stadiums as a away player, I think even though it was built in 2016, it's still the best stadium in football.
Yeah, there's a handful of Bears fans that reached out when they heard I was going up there, and they're one crazy fans that travel with the team. They go to all the away games and shit, and they're like, "That's the best stadium in football. It's the best stadium in football."
Yeah, it's sick.
Wait, can you, on that note, what you just said, can you share something about Kevin Warren, something positive or a story or something? Because
we need to be sold on him.
Yes.
Yeah, but you think about since Kevin got there, aside from Caleb at one, the head coach, that wasn't his choice. Kevin's a guy who's been around the NFL a long time. What he did for the Big Ten from a business standpoint, off the charts. And Kevin was a guy that I would go to. His door was always open upstairs. A lot of guys who have offices upstairs, the players don't feel comfortable just going up and going into their office. And, no matter what was going on for me personally, professionally, I felt like I could go in Kevin's door. I could talk to him. He has a son that played college football, so he understands what we're going through as young men. And I think over time he'll get the right people there. He'll get the most out of the young talent that's on the roster. So, obviously to a certain extent, I'm excited for this offseason to kind of see what he does, obviously who they hire as a head coach. Because like I said, I root for him. I root for the other people in the organization that I know well. And look at the rest of the division. It's such a fun division right now. And there's talent all across the board. Unfortunately, I think Detroit's on the back end of a bunch of injuries. But Minnesota and Green Bay are rolling right now. And it's if you had that first 6 weeks where everyone was 4-2 or better, that's awesome for football. It's a ton of fun to see.
Yeah, and the other thing with Warren, the thing that's whispered, is that there's always like, because the McCaskies are how they are, that there's always like a power struggle beneath them. So is it Poles? Is it Warren? Before it was Ted Phillips. So, and then the other thing is they're like, we don't know if Vrabel, because he's such like a quote unquote like alpha top guy, that maybe the Bears and Warren and the McCaskies wouldn't like that type of a personality. Do you think Warren would be cautious about hiring a guy like that with that type of big personality?
Well, no. I mean, like Kevin was in Minnesota when they hired Mike Zimmer, and Zim came from the Parcells tree. Obviously, Vrabel's a Belichick guy. Kevin is here to support the head coach, to support the GM, to give the team all of the resources that they need. Getting that new stadium done, hopefully at some point. Whether it's renovations to the facility. I know the chef that's there now is a guy from Minneapolis who's one of the best chefs in Minneapolis. He redid all their food there in the facility. And now, it's like stuff like that. Things where as a player, you see from the top down the resources and the difference that they're making.
Also want to talk about ChevyDriveChicago.com. It's already the holiday season. Your local Chevy dealer has everything you want for your wish list, a new SUV, or an Equinox EV. Chevy has the gift you want and need. Find your local Chevy dealer at ChevyDriveChicago.com today. If you're not shopping for a new car just yet and just want to make sure your car is safe and weather ready for the season, your local Chevy dealer service center is the place to go.
I can't say enough good things about the people from ChevyDriveChicago.com. They're all great dealers. If you look them up, they're so easy to work with. Whatever you need, they take care of you. What are you guys grinning about over there?
I'm not grinning at all.
Why you're laughing at him? You're laughing at him. We're in the middle of an ad read about one of my favorite partners, Chevy Drive Chicago.
Mine too.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just laughing, because it's great to be Chevy guys.
Yeah, it is great to be a Chevy guy.
Yeah, that's it.
What's your favorite make or model, Dave? Make and model.
I like the Corvette. Why are you being coy?
I'm not being coy at all.
You're being coy in the middle of the ad read.
I'm truly not. You know what I love? I love the Impala.
Oh, the Impala is great.
That's the nuts and bolts car.
Just the name.
Yeah.
Can't beat that name.
Can't be. It's been around forever.
I got an Impala.
Equinox, obviously the Blazer. Whatever you need, they've got it. If you need service, oil change, tires, brakes, whatever, get your car winter ready. Incredible service stations too. So just go to ChevyDriveChicago.com, enter in your zip code. They'll find a Chevy nearest you, and check out the whole lineup while you're there.
Yep. Always find your local dealer at ChevyDriveChicago.com, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears. Is there, if Kyle Rudolph's the GM of the Chicago Bears, who would you hire as the head coach?
Probably Johnson from Detroit. Ben Johnson's just like, you think about what you have. You have the number 1 overall pick and you have a quarterback. And in order to get the most out of Caleb and in order to stop this skid of unsuccessful quarterbacks and, the revolving door at the quarterback position, you go get a guy like that. I think ultimately he could name his price. That's why he's been waiting. You look at the guy in Seattle, McDonald. I think he's getting paid like $9 million a year as a first-time head coach. So, like, the price has gone up for these young head coaches. But for a guy like that, you look at what they've built in Detroit, the way he calls games, the creativity that he has, what he's getting out of the talent that they have. I think about the backs, the tight end, the receivers, the quarterback, like all those guys are performing and playing at a high level. And that's not a coincidence. That's because the coordinator and, you have a guy like that who's right there in your division. That's who I'd pick up the phone and call.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't hate Ben Johnson either. I just feel like, a lot more what you're getting with Vrabel versus Johnson, but
yeah,
but you're also getting another defensive guy. So
that's the other.
You want a defensive head coach for your number 1 overall pick. I had 3 defensive coaches and a special teams coordinator as my head coaches. Offensive coaches just have a different feel for game flow, play calling, game management, schedule management, practice setup. Not saying one's right or one's wrong. I'm just saying that an offensive head coach, again, look right across the division up north in Minnesota.
Yeah.
You have a young offensive-minded head coach, and he just got Sam Darnold so paid they won't even be able to afford him next year.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, it's a great point. I think we're all in Chicago so broken, and we've done like the Mark Trestmans and Eberflus and Nagy, where like we're ready for
Like a guy who's just going to be a fucking leader and be like,
just grab the whole team by the
Yes.
scruff of the neck,
Yeah.
the whole organization by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, but I think you would get that from Ben. You know,
Okay.
he's seen it in Detroit. Obviously, he's the leader of the offense. I think Dan does an unbelievable job. And a lot of head coaches are head coaches because they were good play callers and they were good coordinators. So they still, again, like Kevin in Minnesota, like he's calling the play, he's calling the game. There's a lot that goes into a head coach that he might not be able to do or react to when the offense is off the field. He's talking to the quarterbacks, he's making adjustments. Well, the game's still going on. So there's a lot of challenges that coordinators face when they become head coaches. But when I look at Detroit and the way that they've built it, you have a head coach who's now giving complete control of his offense to the coordinator, even though Dan's an offensive guy.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I have, without any shadow of a doubt, all the belief that if you hired him, he would be just like Kevin, where he comes in, he has complete control of the roster, he takes the ownership, he leads differently. I think it's a little safer than hiring a guy from Canada and being like, oh yeah, like this is great. He was lighting up the scoreboard in Canada.
Fair.
So it's and even Nagy, like, he comes from the Philly world where like Andy Reid, who he was under, and then, I think it might've been Doug, like those guys are the ones actually calling the plays. Those guys are the ones actually, yeah, they're the head coach, they're the figurehead, but like, those are the dudes that are making it go. So, you never know. I wish there was like that one safe hire. Certainly Vrabel would probably be the safest.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's what would be best for Caleb and his development.
They probably should have just hired Harbaugh last year.
Yeah.
Probably what they should have done. Because then you get he's both.
Yeah.
He is that offensive guy with the big personality.
leader of men,
yeah.
But nice.
And he's just won everywhere he's ever been.
Exactly.
Literally everywhere.
San Diego.
San Diego State.
No,
Or
it's
so
just,
it's
it was just
San Diego.
USD.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just San Diego, not San Diego State.
Right.
It's like San Diego, Stanford, like a bunch of nerds at Stanford. He made one of the best college football programs there was.
They
at
were
that time.
They were like fifth in the country all for
Every year.
Yeah.
The year before he got there, they're 0-12.
Right.
So he got there, I think, in 2007, I believe, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Kind of got his guys, like instilled his culture. In 2008 we beat him. In 2009 and 2010. 2009, Toby Gerhart ran all over us.
I was at that game.
And then 2000, they were trying to win him the Heisman that game.
Yeah.
Got
and close.
We could not stop him.
Yeah.
And then the next year, Andrew Luck and the boys came out to South Bend and they kicked the shit out of us.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this football team is one of the best football programs in college football. Then he goes to San Francisco. We know what happened the year before he got to San Francisco with your Bears legend there. Can't do it. Can't win with him.
Yeah.
He literally kicked his best player out of the game in Vernon Davis. And Harbaugh takes him to the NFC Championship game back-to-back years.
Yeah.
So, the dude's just a stud. He's won everywhere.
It breaks my heart. The fucking Bears. Fucking
This makes me
Bears.
furious.
Yeah. It was right there.
I know. All right. Anything else, Irish Chief?
I mean, just I feel like we got to get some kind of score or game prediction from you before we let you go.
I got the Irish. I think they win by 2 scores.
Okay.
Cover
What's the spread in it?
I think it's like 7.5.
Yeah.
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 What do you got, Chief?
Oof.
I think it's going to be like a 31-21 kind of game.
Dave?
I like the Irish at that number, even with the hook.
Okay. Taking IU 24-21.
You fuck.
Ooh. I think it's what's the over?
Red Ed is back again.
What's the total in it?
I just want something to believe in with those guys. I think obviously Notre Dame's a better team. I actually like Notre Dame a lot, just as a team. Good defense, great run. They could run the ball.
I guess the good part about the playoffs for those without like a actual fandom rooting interest is for March Madness. I'm sure you're the same way. Like you root for the underdogs a lot of times.
Yeah.
The teams, So, but at the same time, we're in Chicago. I use Chicago East basically, and I fucking hate their fan base. So.
Go Irish.
I'll never say that. I'll never ever say that as long as
The total is 52. So what I say 31-21.
Right on it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kyle, you're the man. Thanks for joining us. Have fun with the boys out there.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. See you soon.
Go
man.
Irish.
Go Irish.